let's make a start. A full start, as it were. So yeah, week 6 of our series, Living with Awareness, and we've been looking at quite a number of different areas in terms of awareness in these last 5 weeks. It is. We've explored something to do with the nature of awareness, mindfulness, and we've been looking at awareness of the body, of Vedana, feeling, tone, sort of the pleasantness, unpleasantness of our experience. And then move from there into looking at states of mind, becoming aware of what's going on in terms of states of mind. And then last week, Priyadaku was talking about living skillfully, where we're actually seeking to steer our states of mind in a more helpful, more positive direction. So that's the sort of trajectory we've been following so far in this series. And tonight, as you probably all realise, the title is Opening to Life. So we're going in a way deeper, in a slightly different direction, but really sort of deeper in a certain sense. So what do I mean by this? Well, I'm going to approach it sideways. So much of our lives, so much of what's in our lives, we take for granted. So I was just earlier in sort of reflecting on what I might say this evening. I was looking around my room at home where I live, and just taking in some of what's in my room and just noticing all sorts of things, all the books. Many of the books have been things that people have given to me. Looking at some paintings I have on the walls. I have a painting by a watercolour artist friend of mine, which he's given to me. I have an image of the Buddha, much smaller than this one, which was given to me. Lots and lots of things, cards, all sorts of things. And so if I actually, it's so easy for me just to not notice those things at all, or some of them anyway, or when I do, just kind of take them sort of for granted, take them as read. They're just there, as it were. But actually, there's a whole network of relationships. There's a great richness of connection with other people in what's in my room. There's a chair as well, from a family chair. All sorts of things, which I just don't notice. And there's so much like that in our lives. I think maybe in some ways this year we've had, this year with the pandemic, at times perhaps we've been a bit more aware of that. So back in the first lockdown here in the UK, there was a huge wave of appreciation for our National Health Service. Massive amount of appreciation, sort of weekly clap on a Thursday night actually. Sort of signs in the windows and so on. And I was really moved by that actually, as I'm sure many of you were, just actually appreciating something that's so valuable. Probably almost all of us need it in our lives at some time, those of us who live in the UK, and it's so easy to take for granted. And something else like that actually is, of course, the internet. I mean, it's got all sorts of difficulties, the internet, problems in connection with the internet, but also what a wonderful thing to have as available, through which we couldn't have a meditation night at the moment. Coming down to something more simple, there's food, isn't there? I imagine, apologies if I'm wrong, I imagine that none of us have difficulty having enough to have on our plates, as it were. We have the food on our plates. So easy to take that for granted. But hopefully it's not just sustaining us, but actually something that we enjoy. And yet it's so easy just to sort of forget that things might be otherwise. So tonight, in doing the Mindfulness of Breathing practice, and talking about the Mindfulness of Breathing practice, we're going to explore if we can bring kind of an appreciation a not taking for granted of three incredibly basic things, about as basic as you can get. So these things are life, awareness, and the breath. Three things which we probably take for granted almost 24/7 with hardly a moment's exception. What a shame. So let's see if we can not do that for this next little while. So let's just talk, I'm just going to talk a little bit about each of these three. So firstly, life. I've titled this Opening to Life. I'm just going to quote, maybe not exactly accurately, I'm not sure, from the founder of our Buddhist movement, Samudraghosha. It says, the only thing we can expect from life is life. Which is true, isn't it? And of course, we tend to expect loads from life. We have all sorts of expectations, things that we think should happen or we want to happen, and so on. And we don't notice that just the simple basic fact of being alive and there's something to be valued and appreciated in that, even if it's difficult. I'm not saying we sort of dismiss, forget about the difficulties, but nevertheless, there's something to be valued about the experience of being alive. It's a very simple thing. And we can experience that, of course, we do experience it in the body. So if we bring awareness to the body, well, we can notice warmth. So I'm aware of warmth, for example, in one of my legs at the moment. I'm aware, I'll bring more awareness to it, all this warmth throughout my sort of torso. Some places a bit more than others. There's warmth throughout my body, actually. Even though there's a bit of coldness, if I give more attention, there's warmth there too. There's energy in the body. Yeah, there's, again, I can feel that in the legs, the possibility of standing up and moving. Not perhaps a helpful thing to pay attention to if one's feeling restless, but it's wonderful that there's energy in the body. That is something we can connect with, bring awareness to. That is our life, isn't it? That energy, that's part of what it is to be alive. We can particularly contact that, I think, when we go out into nature. So I was walking around Midsummer Common earlier, doing my mindful walk. For those of you who are on the course will know what I mean. And you're just taking in, actually this might have been yesterday, the tree really sort of struck me. It's sort of life and how being aware of the life of this tree, it was just in passing, I felt slightly more in touch with my own aliveness. I think nature has that effect. It puts us in touch with our own vitality, our own aliveness. Even just walking over the grass and a huge variety of different hues of green, different sort of textures and contours in the grass, and yet so easy to just walk over it, not giving it a moment's notice, time and time again. But yeah, there's life there, and that again, that makes us more aware of our own life. Those of you who are on the course, I think, probably could be getting more into nature in our session on Saturday morning. Okay, part of life, what gives us life, or part of what gives us life, is, of course, the breath. And we're going to be meditating on that a bit later. And so we can feel our life in the breathing, not just in the actual sensation of the air going in and out, but in all the sensations connected with the breathing, which you might find in places you would never expect. So much of the body is involved with this process of breathing. And when we inhale, we're taking air in from the world, aren't we? When we exhale, we're giving air back. And just to drop in some little reflections there. So the breath actually connects us to the world around us. And indeed, we've got a very intimate relationship with the plant world, haven't we? With the plants and trees, grass. How the oxygen that we breathe in is, in a sense, exhaled, speaking poetically, by plants. And the carbon dioxide that we breathe out is taken up by them, enables them to grow. There's a kind of a symbiotic relationship mediated through the breath, which is wonderful. And then I was looking up at something earlier. Somebody, this may not be a reliable fact, I think it's an academic source, but someone estimated that every breath we breathe in contains several billion molecules of air that were breathed by Leonardo da Vinci, or any other historical figure you might care to mention. So I'd be interested to know to what extent that statistic can be translated to much smaller timescale, but I'm sure it's true to some extent. The air we breathe in has been breathed in and out by probably everyone we know. There'll be something in our breath that connects us to everybody in the past, people we know included. And similarly, we breathe out will be breathed in by people in the future. So the air connects us with life around us, human life, plant life, and of course other life as well. It's quite a beautiful thing if we really think about that. Okay, then there's awareness. Awareness, of course, is what enables us to appreciate these other things, to really experience being alive, the energy of the body and so on, to experience the breath. We can't take in anything, really, without awareness. Can't really take it in. And awareness enables us to get to know ourselves. It enables us to change our minds, to grow as human beings in the way that Priyadaka mentioned last week, for example. Awareness enables us to meditate. So awareness is a very rich thing. We would be pretty much dead without it. So let's appreciate our awareness too. Such an obvious thing. Awareness of our experience. You can experience that in something as simple as the hands. Just bring your awareness into the hands. I can do that right now and just notice the sort of subtle tingling in my fingers and just a slight tension in my left thumb and all sorts of little sensations, warmth, coolness, different sensations. Tremendously rich world of sensation in our hands. So there's all of these very simple things: life, breath, awareness. And we can have all sorts of thoughts about them. I've just given you some. But actually, ultimately, we don't know the nature. There's a deep mystery, and we cannot possibly do justice to any of those three things with thought alone. What we need is something more of an openness to that experience, of taking an interest in it, not an intellectual interest, but a sort of an interest in awareness, opening up. So in the mindfulness of breathing, which we're going to do in a moment, see if you can bring an appreciative attitude in to aliveness, the breath, awareness itself, savouring it, delighting in it, enjoying it. even with a sort of a childlike sense of wonder, sort of appropriate attitude, wonder at it. So not getting lost in thoughts about it, that may happen a bit, but you don't have to think about these things to appreciate them, just opening up and noticing. So in the meditation, I'll drop in various I'll invite you to bring attention to particular aspects of your experience, but just follow what takes your own interest. And when I say interest, again, I don't mean getting caught up in thoughts, but what's drawing your attention with that sort of wonder-like sense. You could call it curiosity if you like. That might suggest thought again. Now follow whatever brings a sense of vitality and engagement without detracting from calmness. Okay, let's meditate. So I'll lead us in a body scan, and I'll lead us in the stages of the mindfulness of breathing. So, making sure your posture's right, just reasonably relaxed and alert. And taking attention, of course, into the body, the living, breathing body. Letting our awareness gather in the body, particularly perhaps where it meets the ground, where it's supported by our seat. Just taking in those sensations of contact with our seat, with the ground. The sensations which tell us that we're alive. And we are supported by the earth. We can bring awareness into the feet. Experiencing the life in the feet. The energy in the feet. There may be coolness, but that's in contrast to warmth. You may know energy in the form of little movements of energy, tingling, whatever. Again, not getting caught up in thinking, just opening to what presents itself. Bringing attention up into the legs, lower legs, knees, upper legs, the thighs, big muscles with a lot of energy. They often do a lot for us, our legs. An amazing part of the body, even if they're not fully functioning for us. Bring attention up into the bowels, groin, the hips, taking all that in. There can be all sorts of subtle sensations there. Real sensitivity to those parts of the body. Just taking it in. The back, checking it's naturally upright. Letting the back of the neck be long and soft. Bring attention to the head and face. Experiencing some of what's going on in the face. The life of the face. Letting the shoulders relax if they will. And from there, bringing attention down the arms, all the way down into the hands. Experiencing just some of what's going on in the hands. Tremendous sensitivity, vitality. It's truly amazing part of the body, capable of so much. Now they can just rest. We can enjoy awareness of the hands. Bringing awareness to the gut. Just taking that in. What does the energy of the gut feel like? And then the chest. Maybe particularly the heart center. The center of our life. The physical heart, the center of our life. And tuning in to the sensations of the breath, wherever you become aware of them. A life-giving breath. It connects us with life around us. Just tuning in to the rich and subtle sensations of breathing. And entering into the first stage of the mindfulness of breathing. So we're focusing here particularly on the out breath, even the very end of the out breath. The air going forth from the body. And we may wish to make that count after each breath. A simple experience, if we're able, being aware of the living, breathing body, feeling sensations of the breath, sensations of being alive. How wonderful is that? So staying with the actual sensations, we can shift our attention to the in-breath, even the very beginning of the in-breath. We can shift our count there. And now focusing on the breath coming in from the world to our own body, the gift of the breath. And all the sensations, or some of the sensations, that tell us we're breathing, we're alive, and we can be aware of that. If thoughts are arising about the meditation or something else, just see if we can let those go. Return to the simple sensations, maybe even enjoying the richness, opening to the wonder of them. So ordinary, but so wonderful. Just staying with the simple, amazingly rich sensations of the in-breath. Always with us, but rarely do we really experience and appreciate them. If we're ready to go in the third stage of a particular part of the breath, taking in the whole of the process of breathing, wherever in the body. The dance of the air coming in and going out, bringing life and giving life. Connecting us with the world around us. And savouring and enjoying, if we can, this rich but very simple experience. It may be that other sensations in the body present themselves. We can allow those to be there too. Again, just appreciating the richness and sensitivity of the body and of the mind that's able to be aware of it, even if what we're aware of is uncomfortable. Awareness itself is a positive, something we can appreciate. And if the mind is becoming settled, even absorbed, we can appreciate that. And if not, we can be kind and patient and appreciating what it is offering. So moving, if we're ready, into the fourth stage, focusing on the point where the air, the breath first enters and last leaves. This intimate place the opening to the world, staying with the sensations, we can keep an openness to the whole of the body, its vitality as we sit here breathing. Amazing to feel the breath coming in and out. Amazing to be alive. Amazing to be aware. And now we can just let go of trying to do anything in particular. Just being present, just taking in our experience, whatever it is. Nothing more to do. Okay. So there's a bit of space now. Can be an opportunity to share, comment. So, question for you. What did you enjoy or find enriching in that meditation? Or maybe in the talk before, but particularly interested in what you perhaps might have enjoyed or found enriching in the meditation. I'm assuming that the answer isn't nothing at all. Yeah, so what did you enjoy and find enriching? Of course, if you have other comments or questions, feel free to contribute. I would encourage you to do that. Please don't be concerned about it. It's too simple. It's not interesting to other people. We're a community practicing together, and it's great to hear from each other, and often the simplest things are the most valuable. So do please, write in the chat. What did you enjoy or find enriching in that meditation or earlier? Or any other comments, questions from anybody?
Martin says the sense of calm.
The sense of calm. Yeah. Yeah, no, thanks, Martin. It's a simple thing, isn't it? But it's wonderful to enjoy calm. I felt quite calm in my meditation. And there was quite a calm atmosphere in the room, actually, which is not unusual, but I noticed it particularly tonight. I wonder if there's something about... it's possible, Martin, that you didn't really feel you were doing this. I don't know, but it's... I wonder if there's something about paying attention in a way that's more enjoying sort of an openness to experience that we perhaps would normally not really think worth paying much attention to. But actually, sort of an emotional engagement with it that actually can take us deeper into meditation. And then, of course, there's calm. That may or may not have been your experience, Martin, but I think that was my experience today.
And Liz says, I liked the idea of opening ourselves out to the world and softening to it.
Thank you, Liz. Yeah. We tend to think of ourselves as being very separate from the world around us. And it's just not like that. And I think that it is, but actually I'm very slowly learning it's not like that. And the breath is one of the ways in which it's not like that.
Miriam sort of echoes that, saying I had a real sense of a circular breath, but prompted by a sense of breath being breathed by others, and that my breath will ultimately be breathed.
Yes. So I didn't really go into this, but of course many of you will know, but it is that sort of mutual life-giving as well, the plant world. We receive from them what gives life and gives back to them what they need to live. And it's amazing. As well as that connection with other human beings and animals and so on. Yeah, anything else, anybody? Any other things you noticed?
Carrie says, not being so caught up in everyday stuff and thinking about nourishing the plants with our breath and vice versa was lovely.
Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, not being so caught up in everyday stuff. That's the amazing thing about meditation, or just, I don't quite put it that way, because meditation feels something special that we do at a particular time of day, perhaps, or even a particular time of the week. Of course, I encourage you to do it every day. But something we can do even for very, very short periods of time, just a couple of minutes, is just really tune in and connect with the body, the breath, aliveness, and so on, in this very simple way. And it's a completely different change of mode, which is, I think, often, maybe always, very nourishing. And a relief from, the busy thinking mind.
Sue says, stopping and being still.
Yeah.
And Linda says, I agree with Carrie, the breath can be such a refuge. I know I can just keep coming back to it.
Yes, it's always there, isn't it? If we're alive, we're breathing, and we can come back to it.
Oh, and Jenny's just said it's quite a while since she's joined a meditation session, but she's really appreciating the opportunity to meditate with others. Thank you, everybody.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Jenny. Well said. Yeah, this is not just me giving to you. This is something we're all doing together. And if none of you came and took part, well, even if we were doing it, it would not be the same. And if we here were doing it, it would not be the same. Thank you. It's something we have to keep learning, I think, that such a simple thing as bringing our awareness into the body, bringing our awareness to the breath, with the right kind of attitude, of course, and openness, and patience, and interest, can have such an effect on the mind, especially if we really put time aside and we really open up to what's going on. And I'm hoping that what we did today has helped with that. We start to discover dimensions, possibilities to our experience that most of the time we can't imagine are possible. I think even just an ordinary, very short meditation. I will mention something which is a slight digression, but very apt, is when it becomes fully possible again to do this, I would recommend you to go on retreat, because going on a retreat when you're spending more time meditating, through the day, even if it's not actually a meditation retreat per se, your mind is more in that mode, and therefore it gradually can go deeper, and we can discover deeper levels of calm and absorption than are often typical day to day. So I would recommend going on retreat. Very limited the extent to which one can do that in the pandemic, but it will be possible again, hopefully in the not too distant future. Any other final comments or anything, Liz?
There's nothing else coming through.
No. Okay, let's. What do I need to say by way of bringing this evening session to an end. So next week, Priyadaka will be leading, and asked him earlier what his title was, and he said, I get by. And I understood the words that followed that, but didn't realise he was actually giving me a title. The title for next week is With Little Help from My Friends. So that's what Priyadaka is going to be exploring with us next week. I think I could say other people that connect there. So we're going to be exploring in our penultimate evening on the Living with Awareness series. Of course, do please give if you're given to the Buddhist Centre regularly or irregularly. Anyway, very much appreciate that. If you're able and want to give to the centre to help us to continue to do what we do, please do. You absolutely don't have to, and we do, of course, need financial resources to do what we're doing. Although all of us doing this class are doing it because we want to give our time to it, nevertheless, the centre needs support. So please do if you can, if you want to. And lastly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that helps boost it in the ratings, as well as you're getting the notifications of videos. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for coming. I really do mean that. It means a lot that you come, and hope to be with you again next week. Thank you, Liz.